everyone, my name is Luke. I'm a ranger here at Kingsley Plantation, part of the Timucuan Ecological and Historic Preserve in Jacksonville, Florida.
So Anna's story is unique in the sense that we have the full story. With enslaved studies, it's tough to even get a name, but with Anna, we have a full biography. And this comes, from we have the East Florida Papers, which is one of the largest full collections of colonial documents that we have in America. With some personal letters Zephaniah wrote mentioning Anna, but that's the latter half of her life. To find the origin of her story, we actually had to go to West Africa to speak with some of the griots, the historians over there, and they had a story of Anta Majiganjai, who was a princess who in wartime was swept away and went on this journey. With that story linking up with the story that we have here of the background of Anna, we were able to unite oral and written stories across the Atlantic, providing a deeper insight into the enslaved experiences. So Anna, she had to survive. Just to imagine being a 13-year-old girl ripped away from your parents in a time of war and marched across West Africa to this prison is what it was. Again, months later, she is finally transferred on a slave ship, brought across the Atlantic, and just to imagine the conditions in there, packed, shoulder to shoulder, one on top of the other, for months. Little food, little light. Again, no idea where you're going. So after this harrowing journey across the Atlantic, Anna made it to Havana, Cuba, major slave market during this time, late 1700s. We think she got there around October-ish, 1806. We know Zephaniah was there early October, 1806. So during that time, those first couple weeks in October, we believe that Zephaniah spotted Anna, bought her. He bought her with a couple other teenage girls, and immediately made her his wife. Granted, at the time, Zephaniah was 41, Anna was 13, even young for that time period. But by the time they made it back to Florida, Anna was already pregnant with her first child. So Anna Kingsley was from the Yolof region, Senegal. She spoke Yolof. However, we don't know how many other languages that she learned throughout her life. It's tough, again, with enslaved studies. You generally don't have that information. But what we do in enslaved studies is compile. You look at similar experiences, piece them together. And with Anna's story, again, she certainly knew Yolof. When she made it here to Spanish Florida, she would have known Spanish. She would have learned English to interact with Zephaniah. She also would have learned a form of Creole. Again, here at the plantations, you don't just have one African population from one region. You have African populations from all across Africa with different cultural traditions, different languages, and to communicate with them, there would be a Creole language that would develop, shared, certainly would vary plantation to plantation, but that's how Anna would have interacted with her enslaved people here. So 5 languages.
So by 18 years old, after 5 years of living on Zephaniah's plantation, Anna was managing these plantations. Again, it was in her background. In West Africa, it wouldn't have been too far off. Women ran the farms. They managed enslaved people. Obviously here in Florida, it's on a much more extreme scale. However, she did have that background that she grew up with. Also, Zephaniah realized Anna's skills in managing the plantations in his absence. So, for example, at Laurel Grove, while Zephaniah was off and gone up in Fernandina, Anna Kingsley was the one directing who does what. She had her own enslaved people, 5 acres across the river that she managed herself. And as time went on, Anna Kingsley gained more property, she gained more responsibilities.
We here at Kingsley Plantation tell the story of Anna. We tell the story of Zephaniah and all of the enslaved people who lived here, some of which went on to become freed landowners here in Jacksonville, documenting their connections to today. Everyone's story here that we tell shaped the development of Kingsley Plantation and its legacy. If you want to experience these stories and step into the past, come out to Kingsley Plantation. We're here Wednesday through Sunday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and walk in their footsteps and learn their life stories.